Hey friends, Mario here, and I have just bought a new home. And as I'm the expert for housing in Denmark for expats, I thought you would like to hear about it. So in this video I'll tell you where am I moving and what type of place I have bought, why am I moving, why now, the high level process of buying and selling a flat, and general expectations I had coming into this. Again, just Denmark specific, right? So I'm still staying in Denmark. And this video I hope will be helpful for first-time buyers and also for people looking into their second home or, for example, making their second home purchase. Just as a disclaimer, I'll be quite more off the cuff here as I would do in a normal video, so no fancy special effects. It will be a bit more of a personal video, so bear with me. And let's go. So I have been living in this flat you see here, beautiful flat, for 7 years, and I absolutely love this apartment. I mean, like the huge garden down there, it's a godsend. I really love spending time there. Everything is close. Like the Bernehave is 3 minutes walk for me, 12 minutes to the office by bike. Tivoli is like 5, 6, 7 minutes by bike. So life is good. But as some of you know, I have 2 kids now, and then it starts to feel a bit cramped here because this living room is like my office, it's a kids' playroom, it's a home workout area, it's like the kitchen, guests' place as well. So it's not that bad. I mean, we're over 100 square meters here, but it can be tight. So in this context, the easy solution, and what especially my wife was keen, was to find another bigger apartment in this complex. So if not, somewhere close by. I mean, you can see some of the places here, but I mean, especially on that side I didn't see in the video, it's a lot of really nice apartments. Some of them bigger, so we were looking into that. But what I want to do now is tell you a little bit about how we prepared for this mental thing. Okay, we are looking for a bigger place. Now it has been it took more than a year from idea to execution. Almost a year and a half. So I'll tell you a little bit first about how we started to prepare for this. And again, as I said, I'm off the cuff here, so like if you don't like it, sorry guys. It's coming back to regular programming soon. Okay, enough with disclaimers. So first thing I did was to get the bank pre-approval. So there were basically 2 main actions. The first one that you need to do in order to look for when you're looking for something specific. First one is to get the bank pre-approval. So you can get, and this doesn't need to be only for your second home, it can be for your first home as well. You can get a loan certificate from the bank telling you like, okay, under these conditions, meaning this amount of down payment, you are on this type of expenses in an apartment or in a house, you are allowed to buy up to this amount. And for me, this is 100% important because once I have this, it was really easy for me to just go and say, okay, this is what I can buy. If I like something, I can buy it immediately, because basically with the way it works with these bank pre-approvals is that the moment you get it, you are approved for the loan or for the mortgage or for the house for 6 months, and then of course you can renew the conditions, right? Based on how much your salary has changed and so on. But this makes it really good because you like that place over there that is on sale, and it's going to be on sale, maybe selling really fast. Like now I'm recording this in end of Feb 2024-25. The market is really, there's very few things on sale. So if you look something, and maybe a lot of buyers interested in this, so this, to have like the full knowledge that you can buy without repercussions, is very good. So it's good to have this. And like the way it works is because we already own something, so we own this flat that is here, the bank approval will now depend on how much this place is worth. And it will be the same for you as, you know, if you own a place, the banks will expect that the biggest part of your down payment will be the sale price of your current place. So this means that before I went to get this bank approval, I had to have real estate agents come to my house and tell them, hey, okay, this is how much we evaluate, because the banks will not just take your opinion on how much a place is worth. They just want a written note from a real estate agent, like this Nubolik or Dambolik, one of those. So then, especially on this, specifically for me, was also clear to arrange some of the conditions with the bank beforehand. So when you own a place and you want to buy a new place, depending on how much the differential is between what you have now and what you want to buy, banks might require that you sell your place before you buy a new one. Or that if you make a sale offer, or you make an offer to buy a new place, for example, imagine I want to buy one of the houses here. If I wouldn't have too much money, or this apartment wouldn't be enough, they would basically ask me like, Mario, we want you to make the offer conditional on the sale, meaning that I put an offer for the place, but my offer is only binding if this place is actually sold. So you need to sell until this is closed, but makes things really messy and makes you really stressful, because what if I sell this place and now then the other one got sold for something else and I'm basically stuck waiting for something that I want to come up to the market. Sounds confusing. It's not that need to be. Just know that for me it was very critical not to have this conditionality in my offers. I just wanted to have the peace of mind to know that I can live here as long as I want until I buy something. And of course, if I wanted to buy something for 25 million, not that they would even loan me the money, but then I would like to have a conditional. But in this case, it was not the case. For me, again, as I said, this was very important. And the trade-off for this is that if you don't want something like this, banks might ask you to come up with a bigger down payment, which is basically what we did. We came up with a very big down payment for the new house. The second thing I did, I mentioned two things that were kind of good as a starting point. Was I signed up to all the cover cartotech, as they call it, in all these real estate agencies. So in the area we have very big ones are the New Bolig, Down Bolig, and Local Bolig. So basically these are the ones that basically have been selling places here and in the close by areas. Of course there are more, but these have been the ones that have been the most active. So you basically call them up and say, hey, I want to sign up to your cover cartotech. You can of course also do it virtually, but the way it works is that these cover cartotech are a list of potential buyers these agencies have. And then whenever something specific is going to be coming up to the market, there's normally a lag between the moment a property is put on sale and the moment it goes to the market. And the moment when you say it's going to the market is when you see it in Boligsidan, when you see it in Boliga, and so on. And if you look for something specific, as in my case was like something bigger in Innsbruck, you want to be the first ones to know. And for that, it makes sense to sign up to all this cover cartotech, to be in the know of, for all these agents to know that you're willing to buy something for this price in this area and so on. You just be specific of what you want, and if something comes up, they will give you a call, they will let you know. And for context, right? So this apartment is not on sale yet. I need to put it on sale over the next few weeks. But the agreement I have done with the real estate agents is that we'll also advertise it to their cover cartotech first, and then we might put it into the market in a few months from now. Point is that this, if you want looking for something specific, it really makes sense to know these things under the radar, because basically I learned this the hard way. Like those apartments I told you that you can't really see here, but it's on that side. There was one that was basically the exact layout like our place, but then added 2 more bedrooms and 1 more bathroom, and it was like perfect. And it was like a nice penthouse, and it went on sale, and it sold really fast in like 1 or 2 weeks. And I was traveling those 2 weeks and I didn't even notice, because I just was not part of all this. And had I known it earlier, maybe I would have made a serious move or have a serious offer ready. And I didn't, and I mean, I'm happy with what I bought now, but that would have been nice as well. So if you sign up to this list, they will tell you again, hey, there's this penthouse coming up on sale, would you want to see it? And you go and see it before it appears in Boligsidan, before it appears in Boliga, and so on. Again, worth if you're looking for something specific. Just know that you might pay a bit more if you are on one of these, because the more specific you are, and they know that you're more likely to be a bit desperate or something. Just know about that. But again, if you look for something specific and that comes up, that's good. So that was on the preparation. Then in terms of market timing, I took this leisurely, but this is what I have noticed about the market now. So I think like I have been making videos over the last months on how they see the market, but now that I bought something, I can actually tell you with skin in the game what I think. I think it's a bad time to buy comparing to a few years ago. So like 4% interest versus 1%. When I bought this place, it was 2%. Apartments have higher taxes now than they have in the past. Also, spoiler alert, we're getting one of these townhouses and also has slightly higher taxes. But the market is hot now. So I can see, at least in the areas I have been looking, the prices are going in the 5 to 10% higher, like year on year. For context, this place, like more than 10% year on year, which is crazy. And the reason for this is that there are very few properties for sale, relatively speaking, and many interested buyers. And this is driving prices up. I don't know how sustainable it is and how long this is going to take, but as of February 2025, for instance, like in Innsbruck, where I live and where I was looking, there's very few things on sale that are attractive. Hence, prices going up. Because if your people want to buy it and there's very few amounts, that's what happens. And yes, I said, like this one went up like 15% or so over the past. I know I was thinking in my notes like 6 months alone. So I think it's insanity. But again, like that's the way it is here. I don't think this is changing. So prices have keep going up despite higher interests from 1 to 5%, despite the higher taxes. So things are still going pretty wild here. And the thinking is that my thinking is that so long as the economy keeps going strong, people will have money. Many will be first-time buyers, and when these first-time buyers come in and buy a place from other people, these other people will also have a tax-free gain, because when you sell a place, you get a capital gains tax-free. You can have a big down payment and to get to your next place, and so on. So that's a long way to say that if you want to buy a place, if you need to buy a place, the best time was 2021, but before that, actually 2016 was pretty good, and so on and so on and so on and so on. But probably the second best time, or now is better than in the future. So that's general keys of the market. And just to clarify, just to set expectations as well, when I buy a place now, or with the place I bought now, I don't buy it on the expectations that the place will go up in value. I hope it does. I think like I have been doing my diligence to know that the area and the type of place and the street and everything else should be good. But you should never think of that as your main motivation, because you can burn your hand. Even if in Denmark is the best deal there is, buying a place, that's just a speculation. So that said, let me take a bit of water. Good. So that was on the market. So what did we buy now? So many of you just want to hear this, right? So I told you originally my plan was to buy in this building, and we missed the penthouse. And I'm going to tell you a crazy story now, just to know that even if I'm so-called expert in these housing things, I can also get my hands burnt. So I missed the penthouse, and I had all the approvals, and I had all the work to take now, because I was thinking like, okay, I don't want to miss these type of things anymore. And in November of last year, so November 2024, I get a call from one of these agents that they told me like the place in the corner over there, it's on sale, or it was going to be coming on sale soon. That's 3 big bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, it's very nice big living room, nice view, completely renovated, and it looked amazing. I was like, okay, I went to see it. I could even take my wife, and she was like, okay, this is good. And she's a hard cookie here. So it was like, okay, good. But then the asking price was high. So the penthouse had got sold for 10.7 million with 2 parking spaces. This one, slightly bigger, but not penthouse, 11 million. No parking places. And I was like, whoa, that's steep. And long story short, a few things of the story, right? So it was a terrible experience, because I really wanted the place. I think like, okay, this could work. It was not perfect, but it was good. And it took a long time for the sellers to provide the data to the agent to answer my questions. I wouldn't blame the agent. I think he was trying his best, but the sellers were a bit crazy. And I bid under 11 million. I got told bid 11 million or no deal. I bid 11 million. Then they asked me to bid 11.5 to close. Then they tell me that the moving date would be in October. I'm like, okay. I get my pants down, drop off, offer 11.5, offer that I accept the moving in date in October. And it was a really bad deal. That's what my wife wanted. That was I could convince her. I thought that, okay, in this ways it's good. I'm supposed to be a negotiation guy, negotiating hundreds of millions in Maersk and so on. I mean, like, these guys just played me. And after this 11.5 million offer moving in October, they came back to me and told me, you know what, we now want 12 million. And this was all of the market, so the place was not advertised. And when they just keep pedaling like this, I just walked away. I just like, okay, I like it, but I had already done before. So like what I do for these emotional situations is that I wrote my strategy ahead of my first bid. And I had wrote that my walkaway was gonna be 11.5, even if I could have bought for more. And this is good to have your strategy aligned before you start bidding, because in the heat of the moment I think like, for just 500k or maybe 400k or something, I would have bought my potentially dream home. But I stick to what I committed, and I just walked away from this one. And fast forward, I don't think they're gonna sell for 11.5. But the reason I tell you this story is that this tells you how crazy the market can be. These places on the market, as I said, like I don't think it's gonna sell for what I already offered. But just to remember, again, for a lot of people in Denmark, selling their home is the one big break they will have in their whole financial lives. So people can get very greedy because, like in the big scheme of things, 11.5 to 12 is not a big deal, relatively speaking, but 500,000 krona tax-free, if you put it like that, I mean, how much do you need to work to gain or earn and save 500,000 tax-free after taxes in your account? So that's pretty crazy. So long story, I didn't buy that place, and maybe you can buy it now. It looks pretty beautiful, but again, I don't think it's a good deal the way I look at it. So while all this nonsense was going on, I worked to build alternatives because I felt like, okay, if I can buy something for 11.5 million, that opens your possibilities quite a bit. It's a lot of money. I mean, you can put in the comments how crazy it is and like I have so much money, but like again, like if you have been playing the real estate ladder and your properties have been going up, you can come up with a big down payment. That's how you can buy these type of places. But that was option A, and then I looked for option B, C, and D in and outside Eastern Struge, because first we wanted to stay in this area. After looking for a year and a half or even more, we just didn't find what we want or without reasonable people. So we look for further options, and then there's a little townhouse village just 5-10 minutes walk this way, and I went to see all the different types of townhouses over the last year, and there are like 5 types of them, and I went to see all of them. So there's like the white one, there's a yellow one, there's a gray one. I mean, that's what we call it, but basically I went to see all of them. And I like the idea of a townhouse, or what they call it here in Denmark, rækkehus, because it's more space, feels more like a house, while at the same time not being such a high maintenance work, because you have a lot of the perks of being in an apartment as well. Like, yeah, I mean, I wouldn't live in a house personally because I don't know how to fix anything. I'm from South America, so I don't want to spend time fixing the house. So this sounds like a good compromise, unless I could find a big apartment, which unfortunately after a year and a half I couldn't. So in there I found something that made the most sense to me, which was townhouses that have half floors. So you're like living room here and then the kitchen is here. It's kind of a pancake type of setup with short stairs. You miss the long, nice spaces of normal townhouses, but because it's like this, it really feels much closer to the family. So you're not worried that, I mean, I'm thinking in the townhouses, normally you have 3 floors, here at least in the city. And if the kids are in one room or on one floor and you're in the living room in one row, and then it's like, it just feels really separated to me. And this one was like, okay, you're still different floors, but there's a lot more connection. So you have like windows in between the floors. It's a bit funky, but it became my favorite option. And the thing is that these townhouses sold really quickly. So what I did is that I signed up in all these buyer lists, and I got a call around New Year's to see one. And I went to see it. I was like, okay, this could work. And I went traveling for 2 weeks after that. So I was always traveling at the same time that the good things come up in the market. And the agent was following up with me all the time, and I think that was good. And I had a few catches on this one. So my wife wasn't so keen. She didn't even go to see it first. But this is where I put some effort, and maybe something that you can also consider, and I put it in as part of my courses as well. I made a slide deck to her to sell her the dream, like the pros and cons and the address corners, the address concerns from her, pictures, mock-ups. Because honestly, the house itself was not nice. It was the people living there, they were renting the place. It's like cluttered, it's ugly decorated. Hopefully they don't watch this video because they will feel a bit insulted on this, but like, it was really... But it had seemed similar because I had been visiting a lot of these houses over the last months. I had seen some of them off the market and in the market that were really nice. I was like, okay, wow. And I could take a lot of pictures. I could find the Airbnbs that had basically the same layout and take pictures of the nice ones and make a new nice package for her. And then she's like, okay, maybe I should go and see it. Convince her to go and see it. And she also liked it. We made a bid, we negotiated, and we got a much better deal than the corner apartment, which is good. And again, this house that I'm telling you never came to the market. So it was as in Denmark they call it hidden sale or skuffesale. So it's basically like under the radar. You'll never see it in Bolliga, you'll never see it in Bolliga. The house itself had this sign in the corner, like in the outside, saying that it was on sale, but basically outside of that you don't really see that. And I mean, I wish I would have negotiated better, but like again, in this current market, I think all things considered, the deal is not that terrible. But one quick negotiation tip here, because even in the midst of a bad deal, I got a little bit of something, and is that I didn't have to get my pants down as I did in the other place so much that they were just playing with me. But when I got the final counter offer from the seller, that was like, okay, this is the final price we're paying, and after, it was not a major back and forth, so I was like, okay, we only sell for this amount and nothing else, and so on and so on. It was already lower than the asking price, but still. I called it bluff and made an offer for 100,000 less than that, and I got it. And it was just one email telling them, say, hey, like, okay, give this price. So it was just good enough that they were like, okay, we can close this deal now, I mean, and so on. Even then, it's almost impossible. Always negotiate. I mean, I was just one email. I mean, it was a ridiculous situation. I was thinking overnight, like, should I offer what they told me? The final price is already, this was already part of my negotiation strategy, but I thought, okay, let's try to get the last little bit. So we start to get that last little bit. Normally, you will not lose a deal for when the difference is so small. Like 100,000 when you're buying something for over 10 million is not crazy. So normally you could get that. And I mean, like, how long does it take you to save 100,000? It's like, it's still a big deal. So I had a million learnings from this experience. I'll document them in future videos, and we'll also update Dream Home Denmark course. I'll also start the process, or I already started actually the process of putting this place for sale as well. I had 3 agents coming in as well to get different quotes and tell me their strategies and their thoughts on the market. I'll document all this as I do in videos, free videos, less rambling on this one, less off the cuff and more structured, and also in part of my courses and emails. So again, if you have any questions, leave them in the comments, and I'll make also say like follow-up videos when I get to that as well. But thanks for watching, thanks for looking after my videos for so long, so hopefully this is helpful as well, and hopefully it gives you an inspiration, an overview of how the market is, and to hear from someone that talks about this, to have skin in the game, I hope it's useful as well. All the best, and see you in the next one. Peace.